corollary number 2 is something I talk about all the time. And this was one of my pre-race lessons as well, which is the journey is the joy. The journey is the joy. And that just means, that journey for me, it extends for the race itself that day, starting at 5 a.m. when the gun goes off, all the way through to the time I hit the finish line. And it extends out for the weeks and months that I'm training and the years that went into preparing to even qualify to do this race. So in the race itself, I remember thinking to myself, there were moments in the race, I had my pace card and I knew what times I wanted to be at certain aid stations, certain checkpoints along the way. I've talked about this in other installments. And I remember thinking to myself, I was hitting those checkpoints. I got to Miller's Defeat at 1:14 on my card. I wanted to be there at 1:15. I remember getting there going like, yes, this is awesome. And when it was hot and I'm climbing up Devil's Thumb and it's a 1,500 foot climb at 4 o'clock in the afternoon in the heat of the day, it's 100 degrees in the canyon and it sucked. And it took me almost 50 minutes to get to the top, to go 1.5 miles, really slow going, stifling heat. I remember thinking to myself, hey, I chose to be here. This is what I knew was going to happen. This is what I expected. This is the full, complete race experience that people talk about with the Western States 100. This is why it's one of the most prestigious races out there, because it's hard. People are in the canyon. People talk about being in the canyons in the middle of the day and how difficult it is getting through the canyons and then trying to switch into race mode late in the race. So even as I'm going along, I remember thinking to myself, the journey is the joy. Even when I fell, I remember that third time that I fell. As much as, you run the race and you get the buckle and it's the accolades and the thing that you can put in I just put everything, all of my medals and race stuff in a shoebox. It's sitting at the top of my closet somewhere back home, top of my shelf. Like when I hit that dirt the third time and seeing stars and my hand just throbbing with pain, I remember thinking to myself, this is why I'm here. I'm here for this, not to hit the ground and be in pain and injure my wrist, but I'm here to see how hard I can push myself. Can I put myself in a position of distress or stress or difficulty and get myself to keep going forward, relentless forward progress? Can I do it? That's why I do it. That's why I do these races, not for the buckle, not for the finish line, but to see how hard I can push myself, because that's the true measure. And so that's part of the journey. The journey is the joy.